This is something I thought about doing, and I ended up just pulling the trigger on it. This is a surveillance camera. Now, I already have a surveillance camera, but this is a little bit of an upgrade. This is 1080p, and this is fully functional as far as articulating it. This is the one I have is a Nest Cam that's a static point with a wide angle. This is a wide angle, but the head moves. Let's go ahead and crack this open. I'll show you. This is Yi Technology, Y-I, a Chinese company that makes these cameras relatively cheap. I bought them for my parents' house for surveillance, and my parents liked them so much that I bought them two. One for the front, one for the back. They liked them so much they bought them to replace the cameras that they had there already. Now, those, I really like the technology. I played around with theirs quite a bit, and it works really well. It's not the fanciest camera. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but as far as just functionality and clarity of video, I think it's great. So with this, you get the camera. So this camera is 1080p, 30 frames a second, or maybe it's 60. I think it's 30. With the app, which I'll get into the app in a second, this can move 180, so it can go from here to here. It can go, I think it's 120 this way. You can zoom in on particular sections. Since it's HD, you can zoom in pretty well on this. These guys work really well. They're cheap too, relative to what they are. This is $59 on Amazon. With Prime, then you get free shipping. I think you have to pay tax, but it's not that bad. You can get them straight from Yi, and then you don't have to pay shipping or tax too. I just did Amazon because I wanted it quicker. But I know these guys work really well. Let's go ahead and get into this a little bit more. In the package, you get your USB cable. This is a regular USB to micro USB, or USB-A to micro USB. So that adapter, this is where you plug it. It's a wall adapter. So the micro USB plugs into the camera. USB-A plugs into here. This plugs into the wall, and that's it. The rest of the machinery, and it comes with screws, so if you want to mount it. This is not in the app. We'll get into the app in a second. You can flip it, and so if you wanted to mount this upside down, it has a really nice setting. Also, the thing I also liked about this, it's very easy to get set up. The app is very easy to start. It has a, it obviously has a get quick start guide, and it also goes over everything. It just says, so you just go into the app. So you go into the app, you choose what camera you want. In this case, it's going to be the one by my thumb, and you scan the QR code. Or the QR code is right on the bottom, and you just scan that, and off to the races. You can control the camera, you can listen, because this has audio too. That's a cool thing. You can actually have two-way audio, so if somebody were to break in, that's just scary to think about. Somebody would come in, you could actually go, "Hey, I can see you, you're on camera, I'm recording this, I'm calling the cops," or whatever. I mean, that's worst case scenario. Ideally, you would just use it to scare whoever's in your house when they're just sitting in a room unsuspecting of anything, and all of a sudden you but I mean, maybe I'm just a jerk. In the setup, there's one more thing to note. So here's a reset button on this. There is the USB. So there, that's it. It's plugged in, it's powered. And also, you can put a memory card in, a micro SD card in there, and record video with this guy. So not only do you get, oh, it's booting up.
Welcome to Yi Home Camera. Waiting to connect.
So now, look at that. I'm not doing anything. It's magic. So now I just scan with the app, and I should be good to go. Scan.
Waiting to connect.
That's it. It's connecting.
Connecting to Wi-Fi.
As you can hear through all that, it's mostly automated, which is really nice. It makes it so you just,
Wi-Fi is connected.
there you go. You have to know your Wi-Fi password, and I always forget it. But you have to know your Wi-Fi password, and then everything.
Pairing is successful.
It does everything
You
for you.
can start using your camera now.
That's that easy. It takes probably 20, 30 seconds to do everything, and then that's it. You just put it where you need it, put it where you want it to be, and poof. First thing it's asking to do is a firmware update. A really nice camera. It's not very expensive for what it is, and it does most of the work for you. The only thing you have to do is figure out what angle you want it in, how you want it framed. And with this, you just kind of put it in the center of where you want it to be.
Firmware.
It's up.
Please keep the camera plugged in.
It tells you everything. How great is that? You just put it, with this camera, what I like is you just kind of put it generally where you want it to be. And then with the app, you can rotate it up and down however you want it to be. So you just kind of generally where you want it to be. And then you can move it with the app to wherever you want it to go. And it does motion sensing. It does recording. So if it senses, you tell it, I want it to, this little box. If anything happens in this box, record it and send me a message. It'll notify you with the app. It'll notify you with an email. I mean, as far as just like, if you just want to do low-key security, and you could set up an entire house for probably like $200. I mean, that's way cheaper, and they're all independently connected. I mean, if somebody turns your power off, but if somebody turns your power off, you probably have some sort of a die-hard situation going on, and then you have to go through the air conditioning ducts, and that's a whole other issue. But that's the Yeek camera. I've used these before. Like I said, I bought two for my parents, and now I bought one for myself. And these things are great. I recommend them just because they're cheap and they're an easy solution for surveillance. So what I'm going to do now is set it up. The firmware's, when it boots, it rotates, which is funny. So this thing is really great. It's not a paid endorsement, obviously. I paid for this thing out of my pocket. But it's really cool. You should probably check it out. It's pretty interesting.